The old Equinox 800 out here in the Nokta Makro Legend, okay? And what we're going to do here is we're going to do a series of tests using single layer foil out of a cigarette pack. 1.5 inch piece of foil. See there? Let me make sure I got the right one. Should be the 2 inch by 2 inch. So now we're only going to increase the size of this foil. This is 1.5 by 1.5 inches, and we're going straight over there with the old dime. See that right there? Okay, real simple little old test. I'm gonna turn on this old Legend. Now that foil there, I'm not gonna show you, but it does read 11 on this machine. I've got 24 and higher accepted on this machine, okay? So we're in Park program. Custom disc, like I said, 24 and higher accepted. Here is M1 on this dime. You see that ID? I'm sweeping about 1 inch above that dime. 28. Look over here at this dime. That solo dime reads 46. M2. Park. You see that ID? That's a solo dime. M3 Park. You see that ID in that meter? I'm trying to... 25 and 26. Going to the field program. M1. 26. Here's a solo mercury dime. M2. 26, 27, M3. Okay, and you see in M3 what that old dime there reads. Okay, now let's go back to M1. M1 gave the probably slightly higher ID. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sweeping this, raising the call. Whoops, hang on a minute. In my custom program, okay? There it is. Now I'm going to start sweeping it, raising my call. Look at there. See that right there? Okay, now I've got 23 and higher. That's a nickel right there, okay? See that old nickel reading there? So I don't even get, I'm 3. That's about 2 inches right there. Maybe you see that in that camera. ID, all right? Look at there. It goes bye-bye. That dime is gone, okay? It's reading inside under my notch. All right? That's Empire 1, M1. Now, we can look at M2, but I don't believe it'll be any better. It could be worse. See there? Look at there. Now, this machine... send it 25 sensitivity. Right at about 3 inches. About 3 inches, that dime is gone. It's crawled, it's showing, coming in on this machine at 23 or lower. Now, I can go in here and open it up. There's all metal. Let you see the screen. See what it's doing? Reading 20. All right? So it's not even reading nickel conductivity level that high above that dime. Okay, now we're going to turn this one off. Y'all can put any, as much stock into this as you please, okay? I just show it. I have my own ideas about this, okay? But if I was to say what I think, somebody'd say, oh, you're bashing the machine, and I'm just not going to do that, okay? Part 1. Okay, solo sitting mercury dime. 26. That ball is still under that board there. 1.5 by 1.5. There's about 1.5 inches above it. Okay, so I'm reading 2, 3. Let's see. Okay. Now, I don't have any notch in this machine, but let's just keep raising the call. All right, you notice anything right there? Look at there. You see that meter on that machine? Okay, here's a nickel. A nickel is 13. That legend right there with a call this high on this setup right here would never even give nickel conductivity, okay, in the screen. Look at what this thing's doing. Look at there. 19, 20, 19 and 20. Here's a zinc and penny. Let's see what it reads here. All right. So it reads about 2021. So we're about in Indian Head penny range right here on this dime. Okay, now I'm about, shoot, I'm over 6 inches above that right there. Still getting 1920 in the meter. Okay, now that is Park 1. And that was speed 5. Park 2 about an inch above the dime. Okay, so we don't even get nickel ID there. See that? And I'm going to start raising the call. Okay, now we're going down into single digit range. That's Park 2. Real close. See, real close. I never do get anything close to dime ID. I don't even really get up to zinc and penny ID. Look at there. See that? Next test is we're going to go to the 3-inch by 3-inch, okay? That's this big one here. All right. Except we're going to use this block with the 2x4 sitting like so. So we're even at a higher distance, okay? So there's the fold. Now it has a hole in it, but I don't believe it's going to really matter. You see there, now that old dime's just sitting up there, ain't she, boy? I'll even give you a rough measurement here. You see that in that camera there? 5 1/4 inches roughly, okay? We'll turn on this legend first. This is version 1.09. Okay. Park. Now I've got 23 and higher notched out, but we may take the notch out of it, okay. And I'm also going to increase the sensitivity a little bit. 26, okay. Here's your old Mercury Solo dime. You see it there? 46. All right, so we're about a point low there in M1 Park. M2. We're about probably 3 points low. M3. Reading 42 roughly. You see what you get on that solo rig over there. M1 in field. 45. So that fall is bothering this detector. It's bothering that dime as far as detection, okay? All right, M2. 42, 43. Again, about 3 or 4 points low. M3. Okay, 41, 42. Okay. We'll turn this one off. On the old Equinox. Now the fall got bigger, but the distance got bigger, okay? We may reduce this distance. We may take that 2x4 out with that 3-inch by 3-inch fall. That may be our last test here, comparing these detectors in this series here. Okay, Park 1, standalone Mercury dime, 26. $24, $25. Okay, so it's a point, maybe 2 lower at times. Park 2. 14, 15, 26. I'm going to leave the camera run. All we're going to do is remove the top 2x4. Put the dime right there. A big old fold is still down there, boys. 3 inches by 3 inches, okay? Except the Equinox is being showed first on this. Park 1. 1920. Okay, so you can see there we're about a good, what, 6 points, maybe 7 low. Part 2. We get a, looks like to me, a 8, 9. So you can see there we're substantially low. Okay. Now remember that Equinox there was given Indian Head very close to Zinc and Penny ID on that setup there we're looking at in this camera right now, okay? That might bait a person to dig that in the wild, correct? At least you'd be maybe trying to take a shot at a coin. Okay. Back over here in the park mode. M1. Whoops, I passed it. Sensitivity is 26. Now I still have this 23 and higher accepted, okay? That's about an inch above that dime. Trying to hang in there about like a nickel reach. 26, 27. You see that right there? It's about 19, 20 points low in M1. M2, Park. $28, $29, but I got to get real close to that coin to detect it, okay? You notice that? Watch this. Inch and a half above that dime. With my custom notch in here, I don't hear a thing. Now I'm going to mash and go to, there's ground remove disc. Look at there. See what's in that meter? 18, 17. Okay, and you've seen what this old Soto Mercury read. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here and get back into my custom disc. Okay, M3. Looks like the highest reading is 27, and you get to see that old Mercury Solo dime over there. I'm 20 points low. Over here in the field program. M1. Looks like about a 29, okay? You get to see the Solo dime there. 46. M2. 24, 25. So we're over 20 points low there. And the M3. Got to be close to that. Got to be down there close, boys, or it comes in underneath my notch, okay? So I'm going to go to ground removed, okay? M3, watch this. See there? Now I'll push my 24 and higher accepted, okay? Now I'm sweeping over this dime from 2 inches. You hear that? Nothing. Okay? Now you see what a zinc and penny reads here. So if I had the notch into this machine a couple of points under zinc and penny, I still wouldn't hit that dime right there with that fall down there, okay? Would not hit it. Unless the dime happened to be laying so close to the top of the ground I could get the coil close to it. That would be the only way, okay? If that dime is 1.5 inches under the ground, no dice. And that would even go for over here. Assuming that falls, laying sort of like what that is there, and it's as big. Okay? So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Now, before I turn this thing off, okay, I'm back in my custom setting. That's custom disc right there, 4 kilohertz on this dime. Let's see what happens. Now, it's in field mode. Look at there. See there? So it's coming through my disc. 4 kilohertz, all right? I hope you enjoyed.